I'll wait another second for everybody. Yo, what's going on? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Friday. We made it to the weekend, and then it's a long weekend this weekend, guys. It's a long weekend this weekend, guys. Because it's Memorial Day on Monday. We got a holiday. I believe our friends across the pond have a bank holiday on Monday as well. So it's a global holiday. Is it a global holiday, or is it just like the United States and the UK? Maybe Canada too. I don't know if you guys have Memorial Day on Monday, but I feel like a lot of people have off Monday, so it's a long weekend. And even if you just have a regular weekend, it's still the weekend coming up. So congratulations to all of us. We made it through another week. This was the last full week of school for my kids. They'll have a partial week next week because it's a short week. They'll have 4 days, and then the week after that, they only have like a day and a half, and just like that. Summer's here. Yeah, we're not ready. We're not ready for sure, but it's coming anyway. But that's where we are today. We do have a package it's technically from VF Outdoors, but that is the parent, unless these are Vans or North Face shoes, which I don't think that they are. These are going to be Altras. I'm pretty sure they're Altras. I just talked with someone from Altra, or I talked with Aldrin. Do you guys remember Aldrin? He was messaging me and he was like, hey, I don't know if does he work with Altra now? I'm not sure. But he was like, hey, have you tried such and such shoe? And I was like, I haven't yet. And he's like, oh, I thought you would have. Let me send you a pair. And I was like, okay, cool. So that's what these are. We'll get to those soon. First, let's say hi to everyone listening on the audio only version on the podcast. Guys, today I had a really nice run. It was a little bit muggy. But then as I was finishing, it started storming like crazy. So hopefully if you're listening to this on the run, hopefully it's not storming like crazy. Although I did have my Bose Open Ultra earbuds. Ultra Open earbuds or Open Ultra? I can't remember. I got the box right here. The Bose Ultra Open earbuds. If it had rained on me, that actually would have been good testing. But it got cold when it rained. I was shivering. So I'm actually glad I didn't have to run in that because that would not have been good. So hopefully if you're listening to this, you got good weather. Or if it's raining, hopefully it's not like a bitter rain, where it's mean and vindictive a little bit. And for everyone watching this later but not live, welcome to the #1 running podcast to have on in the background while you're figuring out your Airbnb and, where all the light switches are and stuff like that. And if there's coffee in the place, this is good to just have on in the background. Makes you feel a little bit like home. And then you can kind of go explore where you're going to be for this long weekend. You know what I mean? Duke BB says, let's see who we got in chat. But Duke BB's here. He says, our youngest has been out of school for a week and a half. A week and a half already? That's so early. That's amazingly early. What's funny is the subdivision that I live in out here in the suburbs, there are 2 schools that send school buses to this subdivision. So there's 2 sets. It's so inefficient. I don't know how they decided this, but there's one school district. They finished today, I think, is their last day. And then there's another school district, the one that my kids are in. They don't finish for another week and a half. I don't know. So it's weird because the weird thing about that is not so much that the school years end so differently. The weird thing about it is there's all these kids in the neighborhood that I see and that my daughters see. We have no idea who they are because they live a street over and they're in a different school district. So we just never see them. It's weird. They're also not in any of the town activities either. It's kind of weird. Duke BB says his kid graduated 8th grade. Well, congratulations. Did you go to an 8th grade? Did you have an 8th grade graduation? I remember my dad was super grumpy about having to go to my 8th grade graduation because he's like, 8th grade graduation? That's not real. He's like, what am I going to an 8th grade graduation for? Which is weird because my dad's normally very supportive and goes to stuff. Not that he went to a lot of stuff. Both my parents were pretty busy work-wise. They had schedules that weren't very flexible. But this was the only time where I heard my dad complain. It was for 8th grade graduation. All right. Eric says, yeah, I'd be your dad in that case. Sorry. There's so many. Calvin says your dad is right though. There are so many graduations. Like, there's preschool graduation these days, and there's kindergarten graduation, and then after first grade there wasn't a graduation. But by then, all the parents were like, "There's no ceremony or anything like that." I think people just wanted an afternoon or like a morning off of work. You know. Yeah. Mm, Martha says, my generation had junior high instead of middle school, so graduation was ninth grade. Is that the difference between junior high school and middle school? I've heard of some places having like it go to ninth grade for their whatever the middle school or junior high school is. I don't think that's very common anymore. We moved around a lot. And so I went to two different, we moved around right around the time of middle school. So I went to one school where there was I don't know if we called it a middle school. I don't remember what it was called, but it was only 4th and 5th grade. And then you went to a different school that I think was 6th, 7th, and 8th, and then 9th, right? So I finished 5th grade in that school, and I was going to go to junior high school, right? But then I moved to a different school where elementary school was to 6th grade. So I went from being a junior high schooler back to being an elementary schooler, and I felt like that was the most embarrassing thing ever. And then I finished 6th grade in that school, and then junior high in that area was 7th and 8th. So it was just all sorts of stuff. I guess it wasn't that many moves, but I did move around a lot as a kid. Duke BB says Duke BB did confirm that there will be an 8th grade graduation, but Duke BB says it's crazy. Too many graduations. It should be high school and college. I used to think that too, but I also just feel like, I'm not going to be too mad about, I could always not go, but I just feel like, and maybe I'm compensating because my parents couldn't go to a lot of my stuff, but I'm like, give parents a chance to go to something. They're not going to make everything, maybe. I don't know. Benjamin David says, what's happening, Co? Got my long run in on a Friday against all odds. Well, that's nice because then your long run's done, and then you got a nice long weekend to recover. I have a long run tomorrow. My long run's only 12 to 13 miles, which is not short, but it's not as long as my long runs normally are. I don't know how long the long runs are going to be. I've been talking with Sage and Sandy. I've been talking to my coaches, and we're going to do a 5K and a 10K in July. So we're getting ready. I don't know how long the long run needs to be for that. But I feel like for a 10K, the long run still needs to be kind of long. Maybe. I don't know. But for now, we're keeping it short because I'm still less than 2 weeks out from Tiger Claw, Frank says, I don't get this thing where you are going like to a cousin's college graduation. I didn't even bother going to my own college graduation. I did go to my own college graduation. I have nieces and nephews. So it's my nieces and nephews that are going and that are graduating from things. And so we go. Like this college graduation we missed was an important one because it's my wife's goddaughter. So neither of us could go to that one. So that was kind of bad. The last event that I went to was my niece, but she's the second oldest of the grandkids in that side. She's graduating from college. She went to college through COVID, and there's not a ton of like on my wife's side, not a lot of people have gone to college, so it's a pretty big deal. We all get together, we celebrate, and that's one of the reasons why I don't begrudge people that want to have a big celebration for any kind of graduation. It's because, it's like long runs. What's long for some people isn't long for other people. What's difficult for some isn't difficult for others. Give people a chance to just celebrate an achievement. That's how I feel about it. All right. Dan Scheffler says, hey, Kofuzi, running my first ever half marathon Sunday. What's your best piece of advice? I would say, well, number one, of course, have fun. 2, don't be afraid to take gels. You know what? I got my first handful of half marathons that I ran. People gave me a hard time because I brought more than one gel with me. And they're like, "You're bringing all that for a half marathon?" I'm like, "It's a long time. I'm gonna be out there. I was gonna be out there for 2 hours." I'm like, "That's a long time. I'm gonna bring some stuff. I'm gonna need snacks." So I feel like don't be afraid to have the nutrition, take in the fluids, eat a snack if you want to bring a snack, depending on, what your paces and goals are. But everyone's like, it's just a half. You don't have to go crazy with that stuff. I'd say it's not a contest of how little you can eat. So that'd be the other thing I'd say. Mm. Duke BB says, my nephew graduated from a local high school. The high school name was misspelled on the diploma cover. I don't, I'm sorry, that's terrible, but it's very funny. Yeah. And Mark Peterson says, yeah, what a bummer it would have been to gone through college during COVID. I mean, can you imagine? Like for me, the college experience was like more important, or I'd say, I don't know if it was more important. I probably overvalued the college experience part of college. I really enjoyed that. I got a lot out of that part of college. But like not being able to have that or having a weird version of that, just I would feel like um I'd feel deprived a little bit. So I feel bad for those kids. Yesterday was my older daughter's last band concert for the year. And it was basically like a mini graduation. That thing took forever. Oh my goodness. The plus side is that school, those young musicians are very talented. I'm like super impressed. They're really good. And so like the music was good. I don't love jazz personally, but love blues. I'm okay on jazz. Knows a lot of jazz. But they're very, very, very talented. But like this group of kids, these 8th graders, like they started band during COVID. Or they started like a little bit before COVID. So they had like a 1 or 2, like I think they had maybe a concert before that as like 4th graders or something like that. Then they did a lot of their band through like Zoom, like they had band practice on Zoom and stuff. So that was really weird. And so it was just like, it was a weird day, you know. I got emotional. Even we didn't even live in this town, but I was getting all worked up about it because I'm just like, man, people did weird things to make it through that time. That was a weird time. I'm so out of focus all the time. This camera is driving me. There's just too many shoes. Why doesn't it see my eyes? It's set to eye autofocus. You know, I wonder, do you think it's looking at these? Do you think the camera thinks at these shoes? For those of you listening, right behind me are the Forever Run Nitros, and they have this like circle on the back that look like eyes. I wonder if my focus problems will go away if I move that shoe. Nah, it's still there. All right, Matt Byer says, yo, what's going on, Co? New course PR at my 10K race last night by 122. Nice work. Coming at 44:47. Finished 6th overall. Really humid race. Oh, I remember you were telling us about that Thursday night 10K. Congratulations. Great job. 6th place. Nice. Johnny Dodgen says, I ran connected to someone else's trail dog last night for the first time. Good for forcing yourself to run fast downhill. Top that at 5:30 per mile. 5:30 per mile on the trails. That's amazingly fast. That's fun. I would love to run with a dog. Today on my run, I saw a woman walking a German short hair pointer. And I'm like, I wanted to be like, that's a good running dog, by the way. That dog will run a half marathon with you if you wanted to. But yeah, it was a pretty dog. I've been seeing a lot of people have been out walking their dogs lately, which has been nice to see. Vanessa Martinez says, I'd say races or running of any kind is a test of how well you fuel. My short, easy run had my heart rate jacked, but haven't been eating very much due to pain. I'm under-fueled. That's for sure. I was mentioning, so like in my, like my feedback from my coaches, every run, I usually put in a sentence or two, different than what I would put in Strava. And the other day I was just like, this run felt great. I felt just a little bit sluggish. And then Sandy was like, are you hydrated enough? Are you getting enough salt? Try bringing some salty sport drink with you before your run and drink it on the way to your next run. And I was like, okay. And I did feel much better. And maybe that was just a coincidence, but it's summertime. And it's not going to hurt you to drink a little bit of extra fluid anyway. And I did feel better. But it's like, it's stuff like this. I know this stuff. But, when someone else listens to you complain about feeling sluggish, they might have good ideas, You know what? For those listening, I am back in focus, having moved those shoes. It didn't happen right away, but we'll have to see. Adam Fierce says, Canicross is the running competition with dogs. That's huge in it's like huge in like Northern Europe and UK, right? Is that where it's big? It's not huge in the United States, as far as I can tell. I think I might like that sport. It'd be good. My daughter is gonna get my wife just scheduled a blood draw for my daughter to see how she's reacting. She's allergic to dogs, and so like she's been running well, she's been breathing well, especially since we moved from the condo and the super old carpets and the not as great HVAC systems that building had. And so I don't want to mess with that by introducing a dog, but everyone in the house wants a dog. It seems like even my wife wants a dog, which that's how she was when we got Buddy too. And then as soon as we got the dog, she's like, I never wanted a dog. That's not how she sounds, but that's kind of how I hear what she said. And she loved that dog, but also not really. But both my kids are just like, they talk about getting a dog all the time. Tracy Smith says, is anyone else thinking about Summer Grit? Didn't the code team win or take second last year? Should we do that? I think signups on Monday, right? They usually do signups over Memorial Day weekend. I wasn't going to do it. Grit usually just makes me run too much. That's the big thing. But and I don't know how much I'll run this summer anyway in June. I don't think I'll be traveling too much in June, so it might be a good month for it. Should we do it? If you guys do it, just whoever's first, you can make a Kofuzi Run Club team, and then everyone can join. Then just look for the Kofuzi Run Club team. We did pretty good as a team. I don't think I did. I don't think I did Summer Grit last year. Did I do Winter Grit? I don't remember. I think I did Winter Grit. I can't remember which one I did. But yeah. If you guys do it, I'll do it. All right. Eliza says, yes, Altra box. Okay. We got a box here. This shoe is out already, isn't it? I'm pretty sure I've seen a review of them already. I thought Believe in the Run did a review of it. Oh, I'm out of focus. I look down for 1 second and then I look back up and all of a sudden I'm out of focus. Oh boy. All right. But here's the box for these Ultras. You know what's interesting? Is this new? Check this out. On the box, let's see if it'll focus. I have a feeling it's not going to focus. What is happening with this game? On the box over here, you can't see it because my camera is not focusing on anything right now. But the Ultra box here on the side says Denver, Colorado. I don't feel like the boxes have said that before. That must be new. But today we've got the Ultra Vanish Carbon 2 in white/coral. US men's size 9. Oh, we're back into focus. Maybe I can show this to you, Emily. Will it focus now? No, it's not going to focus. All right. Starting next week, we're going back to the old lens. Oh, this is pretty. It looks tall. So much bigger than the last one. But here we go. Vanish C2 is what it says right here. Feels nice and light. This foam feels very different from the foam last year. And it looks like there's actually rubber on the outsole, which a lot of people had a problem with the way that it was like a EVA outsole last time. You could see the carbon fiber plate in here. Interesting. The way this carbon is in here, it makes it look like there's an indent for your foot to sit in underneath this. And I believe it's supposed to be a 0-drop shoe, which the first Vanish Carbon was a 0-drop shoe. But when I talked to Altra about it, they were like, it's a 0-drop shoe when you're measuring it the way you're supposed to for World Athletics purposes. And I'm like, that's a very strange way of saying if it's a 0-drop shoe or not. So it made me think that it was not a 0-drop shoe. And it did not feel like a 0-drop shoe to me. It felt like a 4mm drop shoe. But I like the color. Oh, this upper material is very see-through. Like you could see the word Altra underneath it. Can you see my fingers in here? This is going to be weird. Let's do this. Oh, you can't really see the fingers in it. Oh, yeah, there you go. Fingers in there. It smells like new camping equipment. Kind of plasticky, kind of rubbery, but nice and lightweight. A little bit of padding on this tongue, but a lot of mesh around the sides. The padding is only like where the laces intersect. On the sides, it's mesh. Oh, there's a little bit more structure in this one than the last one. Where did I put that shoe? I meant to have last year's out here. Where is that shoe? I don't know where it is. I'm looking for it over on the other wall. I don't know where I put it. But I haven't been running in it, clearly. Anyway, this one is taller. All right. We got some bumper pads in the back here. I like this orange accent. Because it's not showing up this way on camera. On camera, it's showing up as pretty red, this Altra. But to me, it looks almost like a deep orange. Well, I guess the color name is coral. It's a coral. It's a very good name for this. Because that's what I see. I was going to say like a darker salmon, but I guess that's what coral is, right? But yeah, so the color name works out well for this. Still kind of foot shaped. I feel like, did they really need to put this much rubber on here? I'm not sure, but that'll be a question for another day once I can get it on feet and run in it. Louis says, spreadsheet time. All right, well, let me get ready first. It takes me like 15 clicks to do this because I got to go to my Google Drive. I got to get that sheet ready. And then I got to come back over here into StreamYard and then share the screen and get the shoe weights thing ready. And then add it. And here we go. All right. So many steps. I was finishing up that. Well, I'm still working on it, but I was working on the Skyward X video and I wanted to weigh a Bondi 8 to compare. And so I did that, but then I weighed the Skyward X again. I run maybe 25 miles in it, I think. And it lost 1/10 of an ounce from when I got it fresh out of the box and weighed it in front of you guys to now. I'm like, huh. Did it lose that much rubber in that amount of time? How's that possible? Anyway, all right. Let's get this shoe on the scale. All right, I gotta go all the way down here. Is this the first Altra? I think it is. Vanish Carbon 2. 0 miles, right shoe, size 9, road. Okay. It's coming in pretty light. What do you guys got some guesses? Let's see what you guys got. No guesses. That's okay. All right. So the ounces was 216 grams for grams, and its ounces is 7.6. All right. Yesterday, oh, you guys had some guesses in here. Adam was really close, 7.7, but did go over. Closest without going over was JC at 7.2. Either way, nice work, guys. Now let's see, where does it fit on the scale? Not on the scale, compared to the rest of the competition. All right, let's do it my weird way. 7.6, 7.6. Ooh, interesting. So we got 3 shoes at 7.6. We got the Saucony Endorphin Pro, at least the one that I bought, because we did have another second Endorphin Pro, which weighed even more. But we had the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4, the Vanish Carbon 2 from Altra, and the Hoka Mach 6, all coming in at 7.6 ounces. Although grams wise, they're coming in at 216, 216, 218. But 3 shoes right in that mid 7s range, which I like. Nice. I feel like that's a good amount. That's a good weight. That's a good weight for a shoe. I feel like that's acceptable. You know what I mean? Lisa said, this is floaty light. And Callan says, at this rate, the Skyward X will be lighter after another couple hundred miles. Maybe. If after 3 runs, it's lost 1/10 of an ounce. So if we wanted to lose an ounce, I'll just need 27 more or 30 more runs, I guess. Then it'll be 10 ounces. You know, the Skyward X at 10 ounces, I feel like would make a big difference. But there we go. Ultra Vanish Carbon 2. Wait, what's going on here? Look at this, guys. Hold on. So I'm looking at this shoe, and it's like there's like a gap in here. Does this insole not fit? It's not. Yeah. I feel like this insole doesn't fit in this shoe because it is like sitting in top of the on top of the strobo board a little bit funny, but it's not a glued down. Is it supposed to be glued down? No. If it was supposed to, they didn't put any glue in here. But yeah, men's 9. Yeah, but got perforations, not perforations, just ventilation in the insole. I was trying to get it back. It's a flat insole though, or pretty flat, but it's not like curved like you might see with some other insoles. Let's see if I can get it in there. I just think it wasn't sitting right. It just doesn't feel right. It feels imprecise. I feel like it'll be fine once I get my foot in there though. And Martha says, Kafuzi, ask Altra to send you the new Escalante. I think you'd really enjoy it even more than the version you had and liked. Oh, I haven't run an Escalante in a long time. That Escalante 3.5 was probably one of the surprises of that year. What year was that? 2020? I think that was 2020. It was one of the nice surprises of that year. Although I think the 3.5 was that a 2019. I don't know. I really liked the 3.5. Yeah. Yevon says Ultra doesn't glue their insoles down. You know what I saw? You know what? I got a mystery for us. Check this out. I think you guys are gonna like this. Here's a mystery that I don't have the answer to, but I feel like we should investigate this together. Okay. I noticed this when I was filming my this focus on this camera. I'm over here. No, I'm definitely not gonna be able to show you. But so I was filming the Skyward X video and I was looking at a bunch of different Hoka shoes. And one of the things I noticed with the Hoka Skyward X is that the insole is a little bit funny. The insole on mine, maybe you can see it. Can you see it? Yeah, if I put it back here, you can see it. It doesn't say Hoka. It says Hoka One One on it. Why does this say Hoka One One when they officially, quote unquote, dropped the One One like 3 years ago at this point, right? All other Hoka shoes that have been coming out, like this one from the CLX1, have the name of the shoe in there, I think most of the time. And they also have the category of shoe that it is. This one is carbon fiber. So it has this weird thing on it. Let's see, the Mach 6 is from like the everyday collection, isn't it? Oh no, it's from the race speedier collection. So it's got that little lightning bolt in there. Where are the rest of my Hokas? I think all I have are racing shoes down here. So this one, Rocket, has again the lightning bolt in there, right? So there's been a new format for the insoles, but this insole looks like a leftover piece. Why would they do that for this shoe? Am I reading too much into it? Or is there something else I should infer from the fact they put in like leftover insoles? Now, I don't think I have a pre-production version. I think that they sent me a regular version of this one. Yeah, because I'm not even one of the first, because they've had Skyward X's for a long time, since the marathon trials, I think. People were demoing the X1 at the marathon trials. In Boston, people were demoing the Skyward X for sure. And I didn't get mine until after I got back from Boston. So I just don't. Why is it like this? Calvin says, maybe the team who worked on the shoe were the One One truthers. Louis says, where are the rest of my Hoka? No, that's a flex. Is it a flex? Maybe. Vanessa says, is it like Girl Scout cookies? The different factories have different labels for the same product? Is that true? I didn't know that. Eric says, maybe the Skyward X was a 2018 shoe and they just released it. I don't know. Because it's like, so the CLX1, it's like the same color insole, right? So like, I'm wondering if like, did they just have, so they clearly are still making this color of insole. So that's not the issue. But maybe it's a cost saving measure. They can use this same insole in a bunch of different shoes. Or maybe they had this laying around and they decided to stuff them into the Skyward X. But why would you do that for a $225 shoe? Matthew L176 says, it's retro branding probably. I don't know. There was a time where there were still some shoes that were coming out that had One One on the tongue after the technical like cut over from Hoka One One to just Hoka. And I asked Hoka about that and they're like, these shoes were made like 8 months ago. You know, that's how long the production lead times are. And so like before we were even like really thinking about it, these shoes were already made. So we weren't going to have them remade. So, yeah. Eric says, these are the hashtag Hoka conspiracies. Yeah, oh boy. Adam says it took Hoka a while to evolve. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. But this, for some reason, this strikes me as very strange. I think maybe because it's a $225 shoe. That's why I'm like, what is up with this? Mark says it's still better than the typo on the shoe itself of that tier shoe. Yeah, that's true. That's a big typo. They did say though that like if you were to order it in that first production run and you get the typo, you can get a discount code. Did anyone get that discount code? I don't know. Calvin says it's like how the early 2000s are cool again and they're just embracing the retro. I don't know. I resisted the urge in the video talking portion of the Skyward X to call it the Hoka 1-1 Skyward X because of this insole. Now I'm regretting it. Now I'm thinking maybe I should have. I don't know, but I'll reach out to Hoka and see what they say. I don't know. Like, I feel like there's a really good answer. I feel like the answer is, as much as Eric is joking how that's like a withheld shoe from 2018. I feel like maybe it's a withheld shoe from like 2020. What year did the Bondi X come out? 2019, right? So I feel like maybe these insoles came from the Bondi X2. The Bondi X2 was scrapped and we got the Skyward X instead. And they were like, we already bought all these insoles though. It's the same last that we were going to use anyway. So let's just reuse it. There's something about it that feels, it's not a huge deal. It's an insole. The label that's on here is going to get rubbed off by the time you put 100 miles in the shoe anyway. It's not a huge deal. It might rub off, maybe not. But I just feel like there's an interesting anecdote to there somewhere. But it says, if code disappears after confronting Hoka, we'll know it's a shoe conspiracy. Maybe this shoe is from an alternate reality. Maybe they've found a wormhole into an alternate universe, a universe where people are calling it Hoka 1-1. And they were like, what weird shoe technology did they have there in the alternate universe? And they reached through the portal and grabbed some of these and just didn't bother to switch the insole. That's probably the most likely. Calvin says Bondi X was 2020. No, because I ran a race in the Bondi X. I ran a half marathon in them. And I thought that half marathon was before the pandemic. No? I don't know. Maybe that half marathon was after the pandemic. I don't know. Yeah. Martha says there needs to be an alternate reality Cozy Run Club live stream in which you open it with a different insole that just says Hoka. That's what I'm saying. That in that alternate universe, though, that's where this came from, though. They also have the same Hoka 1-1. But if they saw an insole that said Hoka with just like a lightning bolt at the end, they'd be like, what is this lightning bolt? What does it mean? It must be from the aliens that made the pyramids. That's what they would think in that alternate universe. But here we just get Hoka 1-1. That's what we're getting. All right. Calvin says it was 2021 that the Bondi X1 came out. So yeah. So I feel like here's the other thing about that complicates it. I feel like maybe this insole came from a early Bondi X2. They had a bunch of them around. They decided to keep them. Martha did bring up a good point. Like, don't insoles deteriorate just like shoes midsole material deteriorate? I don't know. Insoles are typically closed. No, insoles can be open cell foams too. Anyway, I don't know. So maybe that's an issue. Maybe that's not. I have no idea why this says Hoka One or 1-1 on the inside. But I remember I forget who was I talking to about the Skyward X. I was talking to someone about the Skyward X. I think I know who it was now that I'm thinking about it. That's a PR person, not a Hoka person. But anyway, I was like, why isn't this the Bondi X2? And like, well, they wanted to make a different experience, something different than the Bondi X provided. And so that they had to go to a new name, a different name. And then I bought it at the time. I'm like, oh, well, cool. Can't wait to run in this shoe. Then I've run in this shoe and I'm like, it should have been a Bondi X2. Maybe the Bondi X1 wasn't well received. It was about the same price as the Skyward X. So I don't know. Led Inkster says, we shouldn't call this episode Unboxing Hoka Insoles. I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm making a much bigger deal out of something that doesn't need to be made. My question is, if anyone else tries on a Skyward X or buys a Skyward X, look at the insole. Let me know if yours is one of the new kinds or if yours is like, if there are they all like this is my current question. I have many questions, but the most pertinent one is, are they all like this? Do they all say one on the inside? Vanessa Martinez says, humans' track record with portals isn't good. They had to shut down that digital portal in New York. I think that's really funny. I love the idea of it, and then the way it degenerated so fast is equally enjoyable. And JC says the images online show the one on the insole. Good call. Looking at the website, but it doesn't say one on. So like a lot of the Hoka shoes, when they said one as part of the name, it would say it on the tongue badging. It doesn't have it on any of the other badging. I think I threw away the box, so I don't have the box anymore to see what the box says. But are they playing around with it? Are they thinking about bringing it back? I don't know. And Danny Guglielmo's got the Skyward X, and his insole also says one. But Dwayne Scott says at the bottom of Hoka's website, you could see the Hoka one. I mean, I remember having a conversation with Hoka reps that time I went out to San Luis Obispo. I went out for a Bondi launch run with Running Warehouse. We're at some sort of country club or something like that. People were playing golf. We're at this event there, and they had like shoe try-on set up, and there was a group run, and then there was beers afterwards. It was really nice. And they had stickers and like other like display stuff all around the booth. This booth that they had set up underneath a tent. And they were like, "Ooh, we're gonna have to update all of this stuff because it all says one now. And we can't have that anymore." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. You guys changed your name." So I don't know. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Yeah. Ledingser says the Moxis just says Hoka with a lightning bolt towards the heel. See, that's the way it is. There's like the name of the shoe. There's like the Hoka. Then sometimes there's the name of the shoe in there, but also if it doesn't have the name of the shoe, it just has the product category. I think all the Hokas that I have within arm's reach are in the race category, so they're all the same lightning bolt. But like the Clifton has a different one because it's an everyday shoe. So I don't know. It's a mystery that probably doesn't mean very much. General Triangles here says, "Yo, what's going on? Best podcast to listen to on a road trip." I feel like that would be fun. I have, you know what though? I'm glad that you guys are liking this. But as I was telling you guys about the other day, that I haven't been liking a lot of YouTube videos, even ones that I should like. Like the algorithm is correct. It's feeding me things that I would like. I just haven't been clicking on them. I don't know why. It's the same thing with podcasts. I just haven't been that interested in my running podcast lately. And I think I need to get another book. I have 3 credits at Audible. I'm always buying extra ones because I'm going through so many normally, but I just haven't been listening to books. So like, if you guys got recommendations, let me know. Fiction would be good. It doesn't have to be about running, but Yeah, Adam says the unboxing today was Altra, not Hoka. Right? Yes, it was, but I just got distracted by my Hoka conspiracy. Just because we were looking at the Ultra insole, remember? And I was like, what's up with this insole? It seems like it doesn't belong in here. Brian Lacanalao says, "Hey Mike, have you ever run in District Vision eyewear? I one time got gifted a pair of District Vision sunglasses. I can't remember who gave them to me. I think it was with Nike. It wasn't co-branded. It wasn't like Nike and District Vision, but like it was. I think it was part of that Nike buildup that I did for Chicago Marathon. One of the gear drops, they gave us District Vision sunglasses. They did not fit my wide face. They were too small. They fit a lot like like, if you ever wore I mean, I don't know if they all fit the same way, but at the time, the one pair that I tried, it looked like I was wearing children's sunglasses. And there's another pair of sunglasses that's like that, that it reminds me of. Gooder has an aviator style sunglass, and I have a pair of those. But they fit small on my face. It feels like I'm wearing children's sunglasses. The District Vision ones felt like that too. The fit wasn't right for me anyway. Calvin says about me being like unentertained, I guess. Says, yeah, I get the algorithm doldrums sometimes. I like that phrase, algorithm doldrums. It's like eating your favorite food, then it doesn't taste the same. I think you're right. I think you're right. I feel like it's a sign that I just need to get outside more. Not that I'm not outside all the time anyway, but I feel like I need to put my phone down more, which I definitely think is true. I definitely need, especially after being like on the road for like a month. I definitely need to put down my phone more. Oh, Vanessa Martinez says American Wolf was really good about the reintroduction of wolves into Yellowstone. That sounds amazing. I think I'm gonna look that one up. You know what else I would also really like to hear? I would love to, I bet you there's a book about it already. I remember years ago, I watched a documentary about beavers and the way that they can like essentially like terraform places. If there's like a little trickle of water, they'll figure out a way to dam it up, and then like whole new ecosystems will start to thrive. Just bring in a couple of beavers and like it'll turn dry lands into like lush forests. They're amazing. I would like to read a book about beavers, I guess. I'll take wolves too. Wolves will work. Mhm. Calvin says when he hits it's the algorithm doldrums, that's when I hit up YouTube Shorts because the algorithm is terrible and sends me different videos I'd never think to look for. Reminds me of how bad it could be. That's true. That's true. I've been watching a lot of YouTube Shorts too, and it is very much a black hole. It just time suck. You know, you're in there, next thing you know, it's been a half an hour. And I haven't liked anything that I watched. And then the worst part of it all is then my algorithm on YouTube starts showing me different things based on what I watched on YouTube Shorts. So I don't know. Maybe that's why I don't like what YouTube's giving me. I don't know. Will Wing says, is anyone liking the Endorphin Pro 4 more than the Endorphin Pro 3? So yesterday or 2 days ago, maybe it's yesterday, I don't know. Sometime this week, I made a reel about the Under Armour Velocity Elite 2. And I said it reminds me of the Endorphin Pro 2. And so people have been talking about whether they like the 2, 3, or 4 and kind of ranking them. And a lot of people have been doing that. And I feel like that's been really fun. I feel like, oh, that tells me a lot about you as a runner. And there are some people in there that are like, 4 was the best one. And I was like, really? 4? I'm like, some people thought 2 was the best one. Some people think 3 is the best one. So it's very interesting. Led Inkster says, I'm edging towards digital detox soon. One of the videos that YouTube showed me that I did click on recently was from, what is it called? MKBHD's podcast, Waveform. Then there's the show that has the people from the Waveform podcast on there. Is it called The Studio or something like that? So those people made a video. I think MKBHD is in those videos sometimes too, but they made a video about like what are they called? They're not called dumb phones, simple phones or something like that. Phones that are phones, but like are designed to keep you from spending too much time on your phone, which I feel like, wow, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. And I was really enjoying the video. And I'm just like, all these people I know these people work in technology and they work on social media in technology. So I'm just like, okay, they're going to be on their screens a lot, just like I'm on my screen a lot. But I'm like, I think we all just need to detox. I did delete Threads off my phone. I'm still on Threads. I just do it from my laptop now, and I find I don't spend nearly as much time there. I do what I go there to do, and then like I spend less like aimless time there. And I every once in a while I delete Instagram off my phone, but then I was like, I usually try to post things there a couple times a week, and so then it just ends up being super annoying to like keep constantly reinstalling it. So I don't know, but like I need to figure something else out. Summertime is coming, so hopefully that'll help with me just being around my phone less. Wait, is this true? Are you making this up? Is this a real book? Because if it is, I want to read it, I think. Moby Duck, an interesting book about how a shipping container of rubber duckies that fell overboard created a worldwide hunt for the ducks and helped map ocean currents. That seems fake. I don't know. I kind of want to read it. I feel like I would like it as a YouTube video, though. Maybe not. I just saw the news today that Morgan Spurlock died at age 53. I think he died of cancer. And so they're talking about his life. They're talking about good stuff, bad stuff, and how he became famous as a documentarian. And at the time, yes, it very much was a documentary. But like, I'm looking at it in hindsight with 2024 eyes, and I'm like, this guy just made a very long YouTube video. He made like a YouTube challenge. I ate only McDonald's for 30 days, right? You won't believe the results. Stay to the end to see the dramatic transformation. I feel like that's in essence Supersize Me, right? And that sounds exactly like a lot of YouTube right now, or a lot of YouTube from like 3 years ago. But I don't know. Frank says, so it was the McDonald's that killed him? It was not the McDonald's that killed him. Jack D says, I could see the book Moby Duck. I could see the book on my shelf right now. Been a long time since I read it, but the ducks ended up all over the world. I love that for the ducks. That's amazing. They traveled better than actual ducks. But that's amazing. That's so cool. All right. I'm gonna try to find that one. All right. Where's my notebook? I need to write that down. Moby Duck. What was that one about the wolves in Yellowstone again? Not Dances with Wolves. All right. Moby Duck. One. What was the wolf one? American Wolf. Is that really what? American Wolf? Okay. All right. Steve McKellar. A lot of people have been like, book club. I don't know. I feel like we could read. I don't want to call it a book club. I'll let you guys know when I start reading a book, and you guys can start reading a book. I'm going to start with Moby Duck, and then we'll get to American Wolf, and we can all talk about it later. But I feel like once you call it a book club, everyone's like, this is boring. I don't want to do the work. You know what I mean? So I feel like keep it loose. Just call it anything but a book club, and then I think people will actually read. But like I've been a part of many failed attempts at starting book clubs. It never works. I don't know why. I've never actually been to I've never been to an in-person book club. So I don't know how a virtual one should work either. Or if the virtual one should even have any semblance to a in-person book club. But I'm not going to call it a book club. Is it a book club or a falling asleep club? I was telling my wife yesterday. So we bought the full-size keyboard for my kids a little while ago. And I had grand designs that I was going to teach them piano, and I'm too busy for it. And I don't think that they like instruction from me sometimes. It's just a parent-child thing, And anyway, so we're thinking about getting the kids piano lessons, and I was like telling my wife, you know where you can get the best naps ever? During someone else's piano lesson. those are gonna be some of the best naps you'll ever have. Because I used to have to go my mom used to take us to the she was like the head of the music department at Rutgers, and we'd have to drive like an hour and a half to get to where she lived from where we lived. And both me and my sister would go, and so I would have my lesson first, and then my sister would have her lesson. And then after my lesson, this was before phones and iPads and stuff, I would just sit there. I I don't even think I brought, like, anything to do. I just sat there. And my sister had her piano lesson. Mine, I think, was an hour. Hers was like 45 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. And I would just end up falling asleep. And those were really good naps. Really good. I wasn't a napper at the time, you know. In high school, who naps? But like those were really, really good naps. So I'm kind of really excited for my kids to have piano lessons so I could take a nap during their piano lessons. But I have a feeling what I'll do is I'll just drop them off and go grocery shopping stuff, you know. Mm. Elisa says, I lead a little book club for my running team. We are currently reading The Wager. Oh, I don't know about that. I've never heard that book either. Calvin says, a book club starts feeling like homework real fast. I agree. I agree. I mean, here's the thing. Like coordinated content consumption, and I know like calling reading a book content consumption is a little bit weird, but like I'm still not done with Peaky Blinders. I still have like a season left. It's taking me so long, and I binged. I didn't even binge watching it. I watched it the whole way to and from Los Angeles on the airplane, and I still got so much more to go. It's getting a little crazy. It doesn't have the same appeal as it did, I guess. So I kind of want to just finish it at this point. Not that it's not entertaining, but see, like even something as simple as like watching Netflix. I feel like if I had to do it on a schedule, it would feel like a burden, That's all. General Triangle says, I'm looking forward to trying the Endorphin Pro Force. Thinking it's more squishy than the 3, but TBD the Force rank. The Force rank. I don't know what that means. But yeah, I mean, it's mushier. Yes, squishy. Yes, more squishy. It just doesn't bounce back as well as the 3, in my opinion. Slightly, not a ton, slightly. But yeah. And Yana says, I can't read fast enough for a book club unless we meet every 3 months or so. See, I go in spurts. Sometimes I'll like devour a book in like a week. Other times it'll take me a month or 2 to get a book done. I forget what book I was reading, but it took me forever to finish it. I would end up reading like 3 pages a night because I would fall asleep as soon as I started reading. JC says, I'd be the George Costanza of any book club. I like that. That's funny. And Calvin says, I think you should race in the Endorphin Elite. That shoe never got a race test. That's true. I think about that a lot. I think about that a whole lot. And so I have been like, what are the Saucony race? Like, I'd like to do it at a Saucony race. Let's do it, let's work together kind of thing. But Saucony pulled out of a lot of the races that it sponsors. Although, did they just pick up the London 10K? Is that Saucony event now? That's new, right? That hasn't always been a Saucony event. I don't know. But maybe for my 10K, should I run the Endorphin Elite? I don't think that's a good shoe to run. I do have a couple of interesting shoes coming in over the next month that could be contenders for 5K, 10K racing. I don't think they're supposed to be 5K, 10K racers, but I would use them as 5K, 10K racers. So that might be it. And then Berlin, I'm hoping that the Adios Pro 4 will be ready for me to run in by then. Not for me to run. Hopefully it'll be available for sale for people to buy, so they can run in the Adios Pro 4 at Berlin. But that's kind of what I'd like to do. It's an anniversary year, a new Adios Pro. I feel like it just makes sense, you know? Yes, Siva Bala says the London 10K was originally sponsored by Asics. That's what I thought. And then I thought I saw some badging on it recently that said it was a Saucony event. Is that true? I feel like here. Oh, we're already at an hour, so I'll wrap this up. I feel like Saucony Europe is being very aggressive and doing a lot of fun things. They've reached out when I went to the expo with 40 and Ben Johnson at the Saucony booth. They knew all the influencers that came through. Not that that's that big a deal, but like they had arranged with them to seed those runners with Triumph 22s. So like London Marathon weekend, everyone was talking about check out these new Saucony and Triumph 22s. Look super exciting, you know? So like there was a lot of buzz about it in London. And then I saw that thing about the London 10K, and I feel like the Saucony.eu account is very active and doing a lot of stuff with run clubs and creators and just doing stuff. Like, I don't see anything. Although, you know what I have been seeing from Saucony in the US? They signed Nessa Fraser. So everything's been on the track for Saucony, I feel like. But it's definitely, which is the case frequently. It's definitely like it's all, and it might as well be almost two different brands, the way that the different groups work, US versus Europe or US versus Amer, or, you know, just very different, very baffling. Yeah, Siva says, yeah, Saucony has taken over that sponsorship. That's interesting. I feel like that's the first Saucony race that I've heard about in a long time. Yeah. All right. Anyway, oh, Adam says, I'll ask Jared about it on Monday at Boulder. I get to help with the elite race. Oh, that sounds fun. It sounds super fun. You don't have to ask him about about that. I'm sure he's got lots of other stuff he'd rather talk about. But anyway, I'm gonna get going. I'm trying to finish that Skyward X video. Now that I got that whole insole conspiracy out of my system, I feel like I can finally sit down and start editing that video. I'm gonna try to get that one out tomorrow in case people want to watch a video over the weekend. But I'm not racing this weekend. I'm not traveling this weekend. It's amazing. I'm gonna sit in my backyard a whole bunch, weather permitting. But for those of you who are racing, hope you have good races out there. I can't wait to hear about it on Tuesday. Tuesday will be our next live stream. Monday we won't have one. It's a holiday. So Tuesday, I'll see you guys. Can't wait to hear about all your races, and be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.